Mirdita, mirëmëngjesi. Ky është edicioni I ri I radhës, I sezonit të ri të vjeshtës. Natyrisht që këtë sezon e kemi nderin që të kemi dhe të hapim me një musafir shumë special, me një musafir pa të cilin do të ishte I pamundur realizimi I këtij emisioni dhe I shumë emisioneve tjera, sidomos të rubrikës me këshilla juridike. Sot musafir të ftuar e kemi zonjën Tamra Greg, drejtoresh e Departamentit të Shtetit ANL pranë ambasadës amerikane. Good morning, Tamra. Welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me here today. It truly is a pleasure to be here.
It's our honor to have you as a special guest in our TV show, Time for Legal Advice. Before we start, first, can you explain us the involvement and the support of INL that is giving to Kosovo Justice Institution?
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for asking. The United States, I think you know, has been supporting rule of law institutions for over 2 decades. And my program, which is the International Narcotics Law Enforcement Program, has been working on rule of law and supporting rule of law institutions in Kosovo since the beginning, and we're very proud of our work here in Kosovo.
Yes, of course. I do recall back maybe more than 10 years ago when the direct involvement and the direct support came from INL to Justice Institution, including a judiciary, prosecutor's office, Kosovo police, OPDAT, victims advocates, all relevant institutions that are trying to do their best to have rule of law in the country. However, let's start with the support, which is the main support that INL is giving to courts, to the presidents of the courts, especially as well to the prosecutor's office and the prosecutors.
Sure. We have a number of programs that support the Kosovo Judicial Council, the Kosovo Prosecutorial Council. One of the programs that we have right now that we're working on is to improve efficiency in the courts, increasing access to justice for citizens of Kosovo, and also providing better accountability in the courts. And that's a audio-video recording project. We're in the process of implementing that right now, but we're most proud of that project because, as I said, it's not only will it help with transparency and efficiency of the court operations, which in a way will improve access to justice and help with the court case backlog, but it offers audio and video equipment in all of the courtrooms that will enable officials and the public to see what's going on in the courts. So we're very proud of that project. It's in implementation stage right now, but it will be completed Kosovo-wide shortly.
INL is supporting also a huge program on the mediation.
Yes.
How is going this program? Because mediation is very important now in Kosovo. Having in mind that the law on mediation has been passed in the assembly a long time ago, but the law was there. It was we had really hard difficulties implementing that law. Now, with this huge program that INL is helping the Kosovo institution in particularly now that is mainly focused with this program in mediation. How is going the implementation of this program?
We consider this another success story for INL and Kosovo. We are working with the Ministry of Justice, with the Kosovo Judicial Academy, to create a mechanism for alternative dispute resolution, both in the commercial and the criminal courts here in Kosovo. We've already seen that through our trained professional mediator cohort, a certain segment of the court case backlog has already been reduced by 29%. So this means that citizens of Kosovo now have an alternative way through mediation, through professional Kosovan mediators, to resolve cases without having to go into the lengthy court case process. And we've seen a number of successes there. We're actually very proud that both the Ministry of Justice and the Kosovo Justice Academy has partnered with us so that this program will continue and will be owned by Kosovo.
Of course, we have noticed that during our daily work that we are providing legal aid services, we have noticed that the citizens now are asking more information how to solve their issues in the short way. So one of the advices that we do give to them that it's exactly the referring those cases to the mediators and to the mediation office. In addition to mediation, INL has been supported for a long time institutions that are handling with the domestic violence. That starts from the police, victims advocates, and within the embassy, the other institutions that are dealing with domestic violence. How is the cooperation between INL and victims advocates and the police? With the police, I'm 100% sure that it's quite extremely good, because last year, as if I recall, your colleague was here and he gave a very important information that Kosovo police has joined within among best police among one international organization in New York, which is located in New York. But we'll go back. We'll talk later about the police. How is the cooperation and the support of INL with the victims advocates and the courts and the prosecutor's office?
Sure. Gender-based violence, domestic violence, and sexual abuse remains a huge problem globally, and it certainly is a problem here in Kosovo. So it's been another focus for INL and the U.S. government to work with Kosovo institutions to tackle. Some of the programs that we have, because there's so much work to be done, focus on building awareness among citizens. And so one of the free legal aid clinics that we worked with our civil society partners, we offered free legal aid to 150,000 Kosovans nationwide. And we found that through that program, probably the most important aspect was building awareness among community members. Now, you asked also about victims advocates and the prosecution and the courts. We're working with them to build their capacity to handle these types of cases. But I would say that we have a lot of work still to do to ensure that citizens do get access to help for these types of crimes, and that Kosovo institutions understand how to properly deal with these types of crimes. It's still a rampant problem within the culture globally, as I said, but also here in Kosovo.
Of course, regarding the domestic violence, Kosovo has adopted long time ago a law for electronic control of the perpetrators. And that law is still there. The government has promised that they will give the budget to start implementing this law. Lacking of implementation of the laws, sometimes it causes huge problems, specifically when it's about the domestic violence issues. We have been witnesses in the past that those cases sometimes have ended tragically, that nobody wanted to end like that. And the main responsibility goes to the Kosovo institutions while they are not capable to implement the laws. Is there any program or any project that will support the government to start implementing this law, because it's very crucial preventing domestic violence, and especially preventing cases that nobody would want to have those ending of the cases tragically.
Right. Again, because this is such an important priority for the United States, and we know that it's a problem throughout the world, including Kosovo, we are seeking ways to really start from the ground up, building awareness in the communities to ensure that victims have a place to go, have a safe space in order to report these types of crimes. And we really see that as starting from the grassroots. Then we can continue to help institutions address these crimes, prosecute these crimes. We've had a number of different programs. We tend to look at our engagement with Kosovo in a comprehensive way. And so by that, I mean working not only with ministry officials, with law enforcement, with prosecution, with the judges, and really the key to all of this we see is civil society. Civil society organizations like CLARD give the voice to the community. It gives the community a link to the government. And in some cases, we really think the government is listening to civil society and the citizens, particularly on this issue. With our help, the government has put resources, maybe not enough yet, but they are putting resources towards victim advocates that can help build the bridge for victims to work with prosecution and courts. The police have a number of different initiatives to support ensuring that those cases are handled when they arrive at the home of a victim, and they're able to work with victims advocates directly to support those survivors of domestic violence. As I say, there are a number of different initiatives that we think are comprehensive, from the grassroots level to the ministry to the law enforcement officers that are working. Still, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in this area for sure.
Of course, citizens, when they feel that their rights have been violated, or they feel unsecure, or they feel that they are threatened, the first contact of the citizens is the police. Mm-hmm. And INL has been working very mm-hmm. strongly and very closely with the Kosovo police. As I mentioned before, it helped INL, has helped Kosovo police to join one of the international organizations, which is Kosovo Police, among 10 police forces in the world, which is a huge success. This year, correct me if I'm wrong, INL also, through U.S. Embassy, did support Kosovo Police to start, to go one step further, having cameras.
Yes.
In the police, because we have had a lot of complaints, not just from the citizens, but also from other actors, that sometimes Kosovo police is being really violent, and they are using force, and mm-hmm. they are violating their code of conduct. They are violating their, they are doing some stuff that are not good for the eye of the citizens. And this support, the startup support, came up from the INL. How is going this implementation of this this program that Kosovo Police is being provided with the cameras?
We're just in the initial stages. We launched the program actually on August 1st. It's countrywide, and the program is really meant to improve relations between the police and the community. So Kosovo Traffic Police and Border Police now have body-worn cameras. And I will say, you mentioned that part of the reason to have these cameras is to protect the citizen. It's also to protect the police and provide a critical piece of evidence on police and community interactions. In the United States, we're still learning as well. We have made a lot of mistakes in this area, and so we're hoping to share our lessons learned with Kosovo so that Kosovo can benefit from mistakes that U.S. has made in our police forces, but it really is a tool to enable the police to have a better understanding, a transparent tool better accountability for the police. I would also say, too, that we have a number of programs to support the Police Inspectorate of Kosovo, and they just celebrated 17th anniversary, the Police Inspectorate. We're very proud of their efforts as an oversight body of the police, and they are very much integrated in the body-worn camera program as well.
Of course, we do really appreciate the strong support that INL is giving to Kosovo institutions, especially to the police, because now is the moment that we would our police to be among the professional police institutions within, not just within the region, but also in Europe. And that is all thanks to the continued support that Kosovo police is having from INL. As I said before, I mentioned the law infrastructure. U.S. Embassy has been offered to Kosovo their best experts on drafting and supporting the Kosovo institutions, different laws. Will it continue to offer INL and U.S. government to Kosovo institutions, because we need step by step to have our laws in the line with EU standards. Mm-hmm. Some of them, they are in the line. Some of them, we are facing with difficulties, different interpretations sometimes, but still with U.S. expertise, as you mentioned, you already have passed those problems, and we need those expertise having here in Kosovo. Will the INL and U.S. Embassy continue to support Kosovo institutions to reinforce, to help through different experts in the laws?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as I stated at the top, we've been here for over 2 decades supporting Kosovo's rule of law institutions, and we plan to continue that support. Our top goal is to see Kosovo take its rightful place in European and Euro-Atlantic institutions. And so our goal is to ensure that your laws and processes and procedures align with the EU, which is why we partner with the EU on a number of our programs as well, to ensure that that goal is realized. We rely heavily on Kosovo as our regional partner to disrupt transnational crime, narcotics trafficking and human trafficking, for example. And so this is one of the reasons why you alluded to our deep relationship with the Kosovo police, for example. We rely heavily on the Kosovo police to disrupt narcotics trafficking and human trafficking as well. But because we consider this a comprehensive approach for criminal justice, this is why we also support the justice sector, the prosecutorial sector, ensuring that when the police are able to disrupt criminals, that those criminals are able to be brought to justice and prosecuted. And another key component of our program is on the back end, in corrections and probations as well. We support Kosovo to ensure that their corrections institutions follow human rights and European standards, international standards, and that folks that are then re-released back into society we want to reduce recidivism. We want to ensure that we have public safety in mind through the whole process. So that's just kind of one example. And of course, we'll continue that support.
One of the main objectives of INL is also corruption, fighting corruption.
Yes.
And INL has been invested through different programs, projects, not just the justice institution, courts and prosecutors and the police, but also civil society. But there is a glitch. Every year we have the Justice State Department report, which points out that Kosovo institutions fail to fight the corruption. To your point of view, where do you think is the problem? Why is why are the institutions failing to fight corruption? Is there a problem because of the judges and prosecutors are not very well trained and prepared, or is more different problem?
We know that weak rule of law in Kosovo is the #1 contributing factor to corruption here. I think that you'll see a number of other international reports who will point to weak rule of law as the #1 reason why corruption still exists in Kosovo. This is also a top U.S. priority. Our Biden administration in 2022 developed our first anti-corruption strategy. We see corruption as a huge problem, not only globally, but here in Kosovo. It disrupts the economy, it disrupts democracy, and it will be the thing that keeps Kosovo from realizing its economic growth and development goals. We know that civil society plays a very important watchdog role in corruption. Again, organizations like CLARD that bring corruption out of the shadows and highlight it, so building public awareness on the importance of combating corruption is hugely important. We have seen some improvements within the government in their response to civil society. I'm proud to say that in some cases, the government's listening to civil society when you point out instances of corruption. But we are seeing a lack of corrupt actors being held accountable for their corrupt acts. And so until those systems are fixed, the U.S. government will continue to support Kosovo in their efforts to fight corruption.
We are almost at the end of the time. Very shortly, the last question. We have noticed that there is a huge problem of the justice sector, justice institutions in particular, prosecutors' office, that we don't have a specialized prosecutors fighting money laundering. Money laundering is a big issue, not just in Kosovo, but it's worldwide. But unfortunately, up to now, we didn't have any case that prosecutors initiated basing on the money laundering. Where is the problem? Do you think that there is a need that we need to train prosecutors and judges to specialize them handling specifically on the money laundering issue?
Sure. Money laundering, we would call that a complex crime, and it's often related to other crimes as well. So again, our comprehensive approach to criminal justice starts with the police, and that the investigators within the police understand how to deal with these complex crimes. So we're working closely with KP to ensure that their investigators are able to investigate these crimes and put together cases that then the prosecution can follow up on and the courts can process. I think this is an area, again, it's a regional problem, and so the U.S. is partnering with our EU counterparts to ensure that Kosovo has the latest technology, the ability and capacity to not only investigate these crimes, but bring money launderers to justice through the prosecution and court system. So it's an area that we'll keep working on and equip Kosovo officials so that they can thwart these crimes.
And the last, any message for the Kosovar citizens, for the Kosovo institutions?
I would just say, again, the United States is honored to be one of your closest partners in rule of law. As I said, we're not always perfect, and we've learned a lot in our journey to build our own institutions and create transparent, accountable law enforcement agencies in the United States. And we will continue to support Kosovo, the citizens of Kosovo, and ensure that your institutions are supporting citizens, offering transparent, accountable, and rule of law as well.
I think that we don't have more time, so we already combined everything what we had to say. I really would like to thank you for your time, for joining us in this TV show, and having the honor to start the new season, having you as a special guest. I hope that we will have some other opportunities, some other times we will have you again. I really would like to thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. It was an honor to be here. Thank you. And thanks to Claude for all your good work.
That is all thanks to your support that we are having continuously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.